Alright, it seems like gamer outrage is in full effect today, as some information hasn't even come out about Rage 2, but I guess people have been aware about some information about Rage 2, and now some gamers are getting a little pissed off. In this case, while it would be easy to jump in on the hate, I might actually have to take Bethesda's side on this one and really have to calm some of you guys down that are complaining on Reddit and Twitter, acting like the information about the BFG in Rage 2 being exclusive to the Deluxe and Premium Edition is some sort of new revelation. Not necessarily saying that I agree with business practices like that, but this is something we had known about for quite a while, but it seems like a lot of gamers are starting to take notice of it. I'll break down all sides of the argument and why I'm not so upset about this, mainly because of the fact we knew about this for quite a while, so we'll talk all of that. Also, Monster Hunter World is now Capcom's best-selling game ever. We knew that the game was incredibly successful, but now it has taken atop the throne as Capcom's best-selling game ever. And lastly, EA has been in shambles recently, but they have revealed that new Need for Speed and Plants vs. Zombies games are coming this fall. I'll talk a little bit about that and my expectation level. First of all, let's talk a little bit about Rage 2. This is a game that I feel like has been building some anticipation heading into the release on May 14th. I'm very excited for the game. I'm hoping that Avalanche and id Software can deliver something great. Avalanche has been a little hit or miss recently. However, with id Software also working on the game, I think them together as a joint development, it could turn out pretty well. Avalanche has obviously worked on some very compelling open world games in the past, although some of their recent outings such as Just Cause 4 and Generation Zero have left a lot to be desired, but with id Software helping out, I have a lot of high hopes for Rage 2. However, it seems like now there's some criticism coming the game's way. Specifically, Rage 2 in a lot of the trailers has shown the iconic weapon from the Doom games, the BFG, in a lot of the trailers. You'll see the gun in action, and it looks pretty awesome. Now, it could be a little bit misleading in the sense of the BFG appearing in all of the trailers might get you thinking and being in this notion of, hey, that's gonna be in the main game. That's gonna be something I can get while playing the game naturally. However, that's actually not the case. The BFG is something exclusive, not in the base game. However, it is something that you'll get with the Deluxe and Collector's Edition, so it is a premium item. Now people are pointing to the fact of, oh, you're charging an extra $20 for a gun. This seems greedy as hell. Now, whether or not this is greedy, that's up for you to decide. However, this is something we've known about for quite a while. It's not like this is something that's incredibly misleading. Now, can you make the argument of them spamming the gun in the trailer and showcasing the gun in all of its glory in the trailers? Maybe you can make the argument that that is a little bit misleading, you getting the idea that it would be a fundamental item in the base game. However, that was never confirmed by Bethesda, and they even said from the get-go months ago that Rage 2's Deluxe Edition would have the BFG gun in it. Now, they never specified that it would be absolutely exclusive, whether or not it would be in early access to the Deluxe Edition, maybe a weapon you get right away, and then you can still naturally get it through playing the game, whatever the case may be. That was never specified. However, in Rage 2 subreddit, a community manager just said, hey folks, I wanted to issue a correction about the BFG at launch. The BFG will only be available as a premium item in the Deluxe Edition and the Collector's Editions. Somebody responded saying, that is such blank, 20 extra bucks for a weapon. Well, there goes my purchase. That's just pure greed. Very disappointing, but not surprising considering who the publisher is. Somebody else responded saying, seriously, damn, and PlayStation doesn't let me upgrade to Deluxe. That makes me sad. So I can understand the notion of being upset. However, also throwing in the verbiage of this being a $20 gun, that's not necessarily fair, given the fact that, yes, the Deluxe Edition is a $20 upgrade. It's $79.99 versus $59.99, but you just don't get the gun. You get a bunch of other content, including missions, you get a monster truck skin, you get armor sets, you get a bunch of in-game content is what I'm trying to say. To just single out the gun as being that $20 item, okay, that's not all too fair. Now, all of that in-game stuff, could it have been included in the base game from the get-go and that just being priced at $59.99? Now we're getting into a can of worms that I really don't want to open up in this video. However, I see that a lot of people are upset right now, and is this the ideal scenario in where I want to see gaming go? No, and it's a completely separate topic if we want to talk about, is this stuff that I want to see in gaming? Of course it isn't, but this is just stuff we've known about. To make it seem like this is some new phenomenon with Rage 2 and make it seem like Bethesda was misleading you the whole time and they were lying to your face the whole time, that's not necessarily the case. So as far as that outrage goes, you can temper it a little bit. Now, I understand that it's easy to hate on Bethesda Bethesda right now, given everything that happened with Fallout 76. I wouldn't put Bethesda in the EA tier in terms of publishers that are so easy to hate, but outside of EA, they are probably number 2 in terms of being a publisher that was so widely respected by the entire gaming community, and a couple of blunders here and there, and now they're falling at an incredibly fast rate, and anything negative that we see, gamers will jump on over it. Right now with EA, that is absolutely the case. You see something like EA Access getting announced for PlayStation 4, something new being introduced to the PS4, a great subscription service, and everybody's just hating on EA Access for no reason whatsoever just because it's an EA property. You don't want to get to that point, and I don't think Bethesda's at that point yet, but they are inching closer and closer to it. And with business practices like this, with things that we saw with Elder Scrolls Blades, it does seem like they're inching closer and closer to that negative perception of a publisher that people don't want to deal with, and you definitely don't want to get into that tier of being an EA tier publisher, because at that point, even if you do something great, it's just very hard to remedy that stench. We've seen it with EA, even though they made Star Wars Battlefront 2 a better game. I've mentioned that a lot. Battlefront 2, comparatively speaking to where it was at launch, is a far better game, but it never gets any credit. Other games get credit for being improved games. I point to games like The Division 1, that got credit for improving. Point to games like Final Fantasy 14, No Man's Sky, those games get the credit that they deserve, but because EA has this negative stigma attached to them, they sometimes don't get that credit, and Bethesda, I feel like, is inching closer and closer to that EA tier, and I really want to see them backpedal from that. But in the case of Rage 2, I think a lot of gamers do need to temper their frustrations and their disappointment a little bit, because this is information we've known about for quite a while. If you want to argue that business practices like this in general are just greedy as hell, fine, but I don't think it's necessarily fair to bring up the fact that Bethesda's been misleading you or lying to you or anything like that, because if you've been keeping up with the game, you knew that the BFG was going to be something that was in the deluxe edition and the premium editions of the game. Alright, so outside of that, I want to cover some more positive news. As far as Capcom is concerned, Monster Hunter World is now their best-selling game ever. Capcom officially confirmed that the action RPG has shipped over 12 million units across all platforms, and Capcom said Monster Hunter World continued to report strong sales, with total shipments breaking 12 million units, marking a record high for any single title in the company's history. Outside of that, Capcom is just doing incredibly well regarding all of their IPs. The statement also revealed horror remake Resident Evil 2 has shipped over 4 million units, while Devil May Cry 5 has shipped 2 million. Now, of course, ship refers to units delivered to retailers, so I'm not aware if that also includes digital sales. I don't believe that does, so if you include digital sales in there, man, these games are doing incredibly well. These sales have helped the company record pre-tax profits of 18 billion yen, that's $164 million, an increase of 13% over last year. 13% gains year over year, that is incredible. Elsewhere in the financial release, Capcom stated its intention to improve working culture for its employees, a topic which has come under increasing scrutiny in recent months, with workers from companies such as Rockstar, Epic, and many more complaining of an exhausting work life that comes from GameSpot. Starting from April 2019, laws related to work style reforms will go into effect, and various means, including the reduction of overtime work, will become imperative. As part of measures to promote work-life balance and reduce any instances of excessive working hours, the company has endeavored to improve and maintain employee health by encouraging employees to take paid leave and through holding 9 safety and health committee meetings every month. The company is also working to create an environment with child rearing support and other initiatives, including on-site childcare facilities, which will empower employees to pursue their careers actively. At the same time, we will seek to foster a corporate culture that provides job satisfaction in order to secure and leverage outstanding talent. That is just awesome news all around. Not only is Capcom as a publisher doing incredibly well, their games are selling strongly, but they're taking those resources, they're taking that financial backing that they have right now, and they're taking that success and parlaying it into a better work life for their employees. I wish we saw that more in gaming, whether that be a PR move, who cares? If that means employees are living a better life, that is great news all around. And if that means we continue to see compelling game after compelling game from Capcom because they have been on absolute fire, that is great news as far as I'm concerned. Transitioning from a publisher that's been on absolute fire to a publisher we just talked about in EA, they've been very hit or miss recently with game releases such as Anthem, Battlefield 5, Battlefront 2, I can go on and on. EA has not been everybody's favorite publisher, but it has been revealed that a new Need for Speed and Plants vs. Zombies games will be coming this fall. This is accompanying games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and in the company's latest financial report, EA announces both games are expected to be released this year sometime between October and December. Now, Need for Speed, I am shocked that this franchise is still persisting. It is so hit or miss at this point, and more often than not, it's miss rather than hit. The only Need for Speed game that I've really enjoyed this generation was Need for Speed Rivals, and that was among among the launch PS4 titles. Need for Speed Payback was okay. The critical reception wasn't all too strong, but if you get that game at a discount, it's not all too bad. But still, you gotta do something drastic with Need for Speed to win gamers back over. The last one that I think really resonated strongly with gamers was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. While I thought Rivals was good, Hot Pursuit was the last one that I feel like gamers really took to. And as far as Plants vs. Zombies go, that's always been a relatively charming franchise, and I think that has a place in the gaming ecosystem. However, as far as a series that's gonna catapult EA to the next level, I don't necessarily think it's that, but we shall see. Need for Speed, I'm very skeptical on. Plants vs. Zombies is gonna be pretty good. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I think, is gonna be the real make it or break it for EA come this fall. If that game is great, if that game does well, I think that would be a great step in the right direction, especially rebuilding the Star Wars IP from a video game sense. That would be awesome, but we'll wait and see on that one. I'm just hoping Respawn does a great job with that. We know that's gonna be primarily a single-player experience with no microtransactions. That is exactly what we need, and EA needs to get back on track with quality game releases after a lot of blunders that they've had over the last year and a half. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, a lot of people are upset with Rage 2 right now. I think you need to temper your frustrations a little bit. Yes, I'm not a fan of all this in-game content in a premium edition of a game, but this is information we've known about for quite a while, and that's where I'm coming from. Capcom is doing incredibly well. Monster Hunter World is now their best-selling game ever, and it looks like they're trying to parlay their success into better working environments, so that's great. And EA has revealed that new Need for Speed and Plants vs. Zombies games are coming this fall. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.